Hello, Kendra from Mocha here. I just wanted to give some employers some tips on working with your staff if you are a team that's now working remotely kind of unexpectedly. One of the most important things is to make sure to set the expectations and communication immediately. So, working from home and having your staff work from home is a little bit different. Um, the 9 to 5 idea a lot of times is not as productive. So, talking to your employees and deciding what hours work best for them now that they're home and likely they have little ones at home too. Um, do they need to shift around those hours? I mean, the idea here is to be as productive as possible, not to stick to a system that doesn't really work in this moment. So make sure you speak to your employees and decide, these are the hours that work best. This is when I'm expecting that you're going to be available. What mode of communication works best, and settle that straight away. The second thing would be your mode of communication. So it's hard to get everybody on board with the same platform, but it's kind of imperative when you are a team that needs to all communicate together. So one of the apps that I really like, the programs I like, is Slack. Slack is for the most part free. If you have, there's different levels, but for the most part it's free. And you can invite all your employees to the channel. You can have different channels, so different conversations that need to happen separately. You can kind of group those together so the pertinent people are in the right channel. And it sort of will add for a little bit of community feeling, even though everyone is remote. So you might want to look into adding Slack to your team's communications. If you already have a mode of communication in place, then I would, make sure that that's where everybody is able to access that you are speaking to them there, giving them motivation through there, even setting a standard video chat, whether that be a lot of companies use Zoom. That's a really good one. Google Hangouts is much more communicative. You can really have a back and forth there. Zoom you can as well. As long as your employees are comfortable with Chrome, I do recommend Google Hangouts. It's really, really easy, and there's no limit to the amount of people you can have in that conversation. So that works out pretty well too. And you can screen share. So if there are things that you need to share with the team so everyone knows what's expected of them for the day, that's a good one to try out. And that's another point too. A third tip would be make sure everyone knows what's expected of them during this time period. So if there are projects and deadlines that need to happen, communicate that to everybody so they all know when things need to be finished. If you don't have a CRM, not a CRM, if you don't have a project management system and you need one of the ones I love is called Pro Workflow. It is such a fantastic platform, and it allows you to easily set up a project, add tasks, assign them to your team members. I use it all the time for my business. We've tried probably everyone out there. Trello is another really good one if you're a creative business. I find that works really well for creatives, especially because it's a visual kind of Kanban type of list setup. So maybe look at that if you haven't gone down this road. That's a pretty quick and easy one to implement. It doesn't take a huge setup. Some of the other ones like Basecamp, that's a larger, longer setup. There's also Wrike, similar type of situation where it takes a lot of back-end setup. Asana is another good one to look into. So those are some project management systems that might help you get through this time. And just keep your staff motivated. Let them know that you're still a community, that you're still all working together, that you're there to support them in whatever it is that they need support in. So I think this can be a time of pulling together in community. It could also be a time of great creativity if you are an employer and your company right now is really slow, or maybe you've seen a huge drop off in work. One of the things is to talk to your employees about how can we grow right now? How can we focus on our maybe it's our branding or our messaging, or really focus on the business itself and use your resources to take this time to build that. So this way, when we're back to a normal world, you're kind of ready to present yourselves and hit the ground running. Brainstorm ideas for what's coming up this year, and different services or products that you can provide. All of these things, it's a perfect time to have those conversations, because you can be a little more introspective about your company right now because your attention isn't being pulled elsewhere. So if that's your situation, I would highly recommend talking to your team about how do we make this, what we've got going on, even better. So hopefully all those things helped. And and file sharing. Oh, that's a big one. I almost forgot about that. So Dropbox. There's no other system to use. Dropbox for Teams is really great if you have a large team. That works. Otherwise, have everybody sign up for their own Dropbox accounts, and there's a limit on file storage, but it's so helpful to be able to have a place where all your files are stored. So whether somebody is in a coffee shop or at home, now everyone's at home, but all those files are accessible by multiple people at one time. Google Docs and Google Drive and all of those Google products are really helpful and allow teams to work on things and projects at once and communicate really quickly. If you're creating a document that needs editing and several people need to be looking at it, Google Docs is a really, really great collaborative tool. So I would check those out too. All right, hope those helped. I will see you soon. I'm going to keep trying to put out productivity videos and working from home videos and anything I can think of that might help entrepreneurs or businesses in general. So stay tuned for the next video.